Hi, I'm Tim Healy, and this is Nassau Bay Television, and I'd like to welcome you into Clear Creek Community Theater to talk with a few actors about acting and why they do it.
I'm Andrea Taylor. I've been involved in the theater for 5 years.
I'm Sierra Irwin, and I've been doing theater since high school.
I'm Robert Meek, and I've been doing theater forever, but I've also been doing theater for communitively for 9 years.
I'm Roger Cochran, and I've been acting all of my life, but only doing theater for about 9 years.
Judy Alhorn. I did my first show at Clear Creek Country Theater in 1976 after doing some other shows prior to that, and have been involved since then.
I'm Bill Lowe, and I've been acting longer than rock, somewhere around 60 years.
I'm Kay Lunn, and I've been acting for 9 years.
I'm Kathy Drum, and I've been acting since I was 7, which is a long time.
April Meek, and I've been in the theater, I guess, high school, junior high, something like that. Long time.
Mark Stanley, been acting since high school as well.
My name is Adrian Soto, and I've been acting for 11 years.
I was 6, I was in the 1st grade, and I played the Easter Bunny. And they clapped, and it was wonderful.
I suppose it was the nun that said, you've got to do something with your time. You can't just sit there, write a play. So I wrote a play, and she let me direct it. And then the next thing she said, now act it out.
I actually did it when I was a caretaker of my father, Florida, 24/7. I thought I'll just go do this cold read thing, and they actually let me play. And since then, I love it. I love being on stage.
I did my first show when I was 7 in 2nd grade. I was the smallest person in my class, and we were going to do Peter Pan. And so I was all excited because I was definitely going to be Peter Pan. And then kind of at the last minute, they decided they wanted to do the Giant's Garden. And I could not play the giant. So I had to play one of the children in the garden. But that was my first experience on stage, and I pretty much haven't left since.
At least it wasn't a vegetable or something.
I played a man-witch.
A pea on the vine.
How about you guys?
All right.
You were little.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of got dragged kicking and screaming into the theater. Quite literally, actually. I really didn't want to do it, but I ended up getting drug in here and kind of been stuck here ever since. So
We love it.
Montessori school when I was little, Robert. My teacher loved the Baltimore Orioles, so we did this thing where we all dressed up as an Oriole and talked about the player. And I think just being up on the stage and seeing little parents with their little cameras going, oh, it's so cute. It's pretty much gradually grown up since then.
You were a pilgrim, too.
I was also a pilgrim.
Mom remembers the pilgrim.
What else embarrassing was he? Come on, come on.
Did baby stand up?
Did he hit himself?
Oh yeah, and then there's baby stand-up, but that's way too past for you. Way too past for you. I guess I really got started in high school. I was in the theater program and had the last 2 hours of the school day were theater, and then you just went right into afternoon rehearsal. So it was great. I walked into the theater and stayed there. That was really, really nice. And that was, and I, did everything. It was props and costume and directing, but there's something really magical about being backstage with you guys, with the actors.
Thank you.
It's that moment where reality ends and the play begins, and you're right there at the threshold. It's like the magic curtain place to be, and you get to know actors that way, and you get to know their characters, and being in that magic place is fun because you don't know who you're talking to.
I would say I came from an extremely musical family, and we would put on small shows when we were kids for our family members, and I guess that's where I got started. Officially, it wasn't until high school that I played Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet. And that was definitely where I got bit with the bug, and it's been nonstop ever since then.
I actually got interested in theater in junior high when I saw the drama speech teacher. Then after doing shows in high school, I realized how much fun actually doing plays was. So,
And now we know how to get you into a play.
it does help.
It's actually, I've known that.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it's easy to cast him if you show him who else is in the show.
So was this teacher a woman or?
My first ever experience on stage actually was in the 2nd grade. I played the Yellow Rose of Texas. All I had to do was walk across the stage, come back, and stand in one place, and I was terrified, swore I'd never do it again. 5 years ago, I got involved in the theater. I saw my friends having such a wonderful time. I couldn't help myself and had to audition for this marvelous lady who I've had a lot of fun doing.
We've had a lot of fun, haven't we? We've had a lot of fun.
Okay.
We've had a lot of fun.
In my kindergarten play, which was terrifying. And then in high school, I don't know, I was so shy in high school. I really wanted to do something that would get me out of my shell and to talk to people and to hang out with cool people, and I kind of got hooked.
I don't know, I always think, you know, that's usually the first question anybody asks you when you're doing a deal for kids or anything. What's your favorite role? Mine usually is the role that I'm doing is my favorite one at the time. There's a few that I would have been very happy not to have done.
We can't talk about that.
No, we're not talking about those.
Like the bunny rabbit one?
No, I enjoyed the bunny rabbit one. And the 2nd grade, I got to be the elf that stole the North Pole.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You were a
I
prodigy.
even remember my first line. Oh, what a wonderful fishing pole the North Pole makes.
Oh, I think my favorite roles have been 2. Both of them are actually here. Arsenic and Old Lace, where Andy was the director. I played the sister, and I got to poison the man. It was so wonderful. And the most memorable moment from that was my curtains. Yeah, my nephew comes through and rips down the curtains.
And your nephew.
Oh, and Teddy was my nephew. He played a bugle and was kind of warped, but he was all right.
Well, the bugle was warped.
But I think that's where somebody told me I was born to be old. That was our song. Born to be old, because I was an old lady.
My favorite role, that's interesting because they're all so fun because they're all so different. We did a show here called Black Comedy. Black Comedy is this wonderful show where when the lights are on stage, it's completely dark on stage. It's opposite. So the lights go out in the show, but the lights come on. And so we spent the entire show pretending we were in the dark. It was so much fun working with April, who was amazing about teaching us how to walk around in the dark when we could see everything. And I got to do this outrageous Cockney accent and beat up on Bernie Sandler, which was really,
how much fun can that be?
Really enjoyable. And do a pratfall and slide across the stage. Usually my favorite roles include pratfalls.
To say,
sorry.
I have to say my favorite role though had lately been Sir Robert Chiltern in An Ideal Husband, just because of the challenge. I mean, it was probably one of the largest roles I've ever done. Had to do it.
And you did it well.
You did a beautiful job. Yes, that was a fantastic play.
And having that trust that someone gives you to do something like that, it was great.
It's a combination of so many different things, because as an actor you can enjoy doing a play because, oh, I've always wanted to do that one, I've always wanted to play that character. In my case it was more of, there was 2 shows, particularly Streetcar Named Desire, which was the first one I did with April, and the cast was insanely good. It was such an amazing cast, and that's where I feed off of my cast members. They become this little family that it helps you act, it just helps you come out and become better in your character, and you just want to be here, and it's just so much joy. So I have to say, yeah, Streetcar Named Desire.
And I got to kiss him.
Lamps falling and never working.
Oh, so much fun.
The You Can't Take It With You, and Arsenic and Old Lace, most definitely.
Favorite role's really, really tough for me. I love them all for various reasons. The first one, obviously, was the greatest experience ever.
in Daddy's Diet and Who's Got the Will, you know, to work against Kenny and Monica, and
That was a great
to
test.
step out on stage with you know, playing somebody that's been outside smoking marijuana and rolling around on the floor with somebody I've never met in my life. That was an
In the
amazing
play.
experience. Yes. In the play. Like I said, playing the role of someone. Yeah. But Stella in Streetcar Named Desire, it bit me. That's the role that hooked me into the theater. And I love them all. I've been typecast in the last few shows, but I hope to...
You are better.
But I do hope to break out of that role and play something a little different in the future. But yeah. But they're all fun. I've had a blast.
I had a role in high school. It was really small. I don't even remember the name of the play, but I got to play this crazy Cockney landlady. And I was shouting at people in a Cockney accent, and I love to do that. And that's what got me back into theater after college. Is the Pearl cast me as the Cockney maid, and I was shouting at people in a Cockney accent again, and it was great.
And you were being very good at it.
Yes, yes.
Dear. Typecast.
It's hard for me to say a favorite role because I play so many different types of roles all the time. And probably the role that I got the most recognition for was just what I recently did, which was Carrie Watts in A Trip to Bountiful, and that was a memorable role. One of the roles most memorable to me was I had played Florence in the female version of The Odd Couple 3 times, but the 4th time I played Olive. And to switch to the opposite role, it was pretty memorable. But I think my all-time favorite role was probably Elmire in Tartuffe that I did here for this theater about 2 decades ago, probably.
Okay, Teddy.
Are we talking to us?
No.
Oh, wake up, Bill. Hello. Where are we? Good morning, Phil.
You're on stage, Bill. You're in lights. It's
Oh.
okay.
Lights.
I see the lights. Okay. What are we talking?
It's improv. Don't worry.
It's improv. Okay.
We're
There's
still
no
on the same
script,
question.
Bill.
Favorite
It's okay.
favorite roles? I don't know.
Didn't he answer this one?
He was the first one.
Oh, I thought I did.
You said you didn't remember your lines now, but you did when you
Well,
were
you-
the lines
Yeah,
when
it's
you were
actually the
7.
voice.
All right.
That's right.
Well,
And
Your
they've done it to me again.
The fishing pole.
The
North
fishing pole.
Pole.
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think we covered that one.
That's the reason I was sitting here trying to behave. You know.
How much do I love you?
Yeah, I know.
I
love
know,
you,
baby.
too.
All right. Well, I don't know about all this stuff about loving all the roles. I think there are definitely some that are kind of hard to get through. But, and as far as typecasting goes, for some reason I always seem to end up playing some sort of young cop type character. I don't know why. But
Yes,
what is
that's
it, like
true.
4 or 5 shows now where I've been some sort of young
You
cop?
look so good in that uniform, baby.
I don't know. But as
Take
far
it
as my
from-
favorite role goes, it was probably just this last one that I did over the summer as Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream. Well, thank you. That was just a lot of fun. It was definitely a break from the norm, not really your average sort of character, and it was just kind of fun to channel that, I guess.
This past year, at my high school, we did a play called Metamorphoses, and it was a bunch of different stories that were all tied together in some way or another. So I played 4 different characters, but out of that, one of the characters was Orpheus. And, like, the story of Orpheus is he's on his wedding day and his wife gets bitten by a snake, so he goes down to the underworld to talk to Hades and try and bring her back. And he gets his chance, but he keeps the condition is when he goes back up to the real world, he can't look behind him to see if she's there or not. But of course, he gets worried to see if she's actually following him, turns around and he loses her forever. I think doing that role was so much different than some of the other roles that I've done before. And I don't mind being cast as the funny man. I do enjoy it, but I think the whole like embodying that tragic person who just wanted to do the right thing and couldn't do it. It was really it brought up a new level of acting in me that I didn't know I had, and I think like that final moment where I just fall to my knees and I'm completely lost because I don't have what I want anymore. Like everyone's silent, and you can hear people's you can hear their heavy breathing. Like my heart was pounding, and then the light just fades off, and it was so amazing to play that character. I loved it so much.
I think everybody has a character like that where they just played this really intense, really dramatic character. And it's actually life-changing. It's just literally being somebody else as they go through the most emotional, most trying time of their life. There's something powerful about that, and it's just not an experience you forget, ever. But then, I'm young, so what do I know?
So what do you know, right? I was just saying how profound that was coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
Bill said that when you took that North Pole, that was one of the
I think The Exonerated, my role in The Exonerated was probably the most moving, where it's a play about people who have been sentenced to death and they live on death row and they're innocent, and these are real people. And the night that I actually got to talk to the person that I was playing was probably the most moving thing that's ever happened to me. And he was very, very nice. He was really easy to talk to, and I said, you know, what can I do to portray you better? And he said, just tell my story, man. Just tell my story.
All right, well, I think what everybody's thinking of now is probably stuff that goes wrong with tech. At least at least most of you have probably been on stage when the lights come up when they shouldn't, and you're stuck there like a deer, and you have no idea what you're gonna do, so you just hastily blurt out whatever comes to mind, and you run off stage. It happens to everybody, especially when my mom's working tech.
I was a stage manager for a rep company in Illinois, and we were doing Peter Pan. And
again, you're not flying, are you?
No, so I was the stage manager, and the foys actually come in and train your people and set up the fly system and all of this. You have to, if you're doing Peter Pan and you're going to fly, you have to hire the foys. So the foys come in and do this. We go through all this training. Peter is on, it's a woman, but it is on a line that goes up and down and side to side. And the kids are just on lines that go up and down, because they don't have to fly around. They just go, we're flying, and then the lights go out. So at the opening of the show, Wendy and the other little kid, I can't even remember their name. John and Wendy are asleep in bed, and through the window, which is up center stage, is supposed to fly in Peter Pan, really gracefully and beautiful. Just wonderful way to start the show, right? And so I call the lights up, and the lights come up, and I call the fly operator to fly in Peter Pan, and nothing happens. And there's Peter kind of hovering at the window. And I said, repeat, Peter Pan, go. And then all of a sudden, Wendy, who is asleep in her bed, flies across the stage, lands, amazing actress, lands like a cat over there, and the lights, full stage lights up, slinks back into bed, while Peter just kind of pretends to hover. The scene goes on. And of course, we've worked this all out. Okay, so-and-so's on the wrong line. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Later in the show, Wendy has to say the line, Peter, can you teach me to fly? At which time the audience burst out into laughter that the actors had to hold for. That's my absolute best theater mistake story.
That's pretty funny.
I think ours, we were doing Gin Game, which is a two-person show. Very under-rehearsed, and opening night, I had told my wife, please don't come. Don't come tonight, and I looked out there, and there she was. And I'm also, those of you that have worked with me, which is most of you, I am terribly superstitious back here. So we finished the first act, and the lady that I'm playing with, as we're walking back around to the dressing room, says, "God, we were great. We got through the whole first act. Nobody left out anything. Everything was going fine." And you know, I'm trying to tell her, "Shut up. Just shut up. Don't talk to me." Because if you say the first act is good, that will put the jinx on the second act. Second act lights come up. We get started. We go through about 3 pages in the script, and my partner jumps ahead probably 20 pages. So it's like, okay, and she says, "Let's just start over." We can't do that. So we had this thunderclap too that we called the voice of God, but we'd never heard it before, just out of a little boombox. And so we pick up where we left off, and I'm looking up in the booth, and here's the sound guy going, and the lights guy's going. So and they're going like, you know, and I'm saying, "Well, we will go through to the end, to the end." So anyway, I'm standing up there, and the voice of God goes off, not in the right place, of course. And they didn't tell me they had a speaker right behind me, so I, you know, jumped forward. We finally finish up. They do catch up with the light cues, thankfully. We walk off stage, and she says, "What do we do now?" "Curtain call." But that was, I think, the weirdest one. And then they did say afterwards, it's like, "Did you guys skip some?" "Yeah, but it was beer time, and we thought as soon as we got through, I could get over to the beer joint earlier." Yeah.